Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review where the hosts of the What Do You Say Anime podcast nominate and vote on shows either we haven't seen or shows that will hopefully lead to a great discussion. On today's episode, the Straw Hats of the What Do You Say Anime podcast will be discussing the One Piece recap movie, the episode of East Blue, which recaps the 5 original Straw Hat backstories plus the conclusion of Arlong Park. So come aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams as we meet today's pirates. First up, he has a bounty of 69 berries. We have Johnny. Johnny, how's it going?
69 bears is too much value for me, honestly.
Well, we're glad to have you, Johnny. Thank you. Next up, a man whose sex drive is rumored to be the actual One Piece after eating the cum fruit. We got Jay. Jay, how's it going?
I left my treasure in the grand shoot.
Line?
I don't know where to go. Line, please.
Grand Blue?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just someplace with a large penis-shaped rock.
I like the misunderstanding, but it's called the Grand Line, I think.
It is the Grand Line.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we are massive One Piece fans. Next up, a man who has docked more ships than Lug Town. We got Parf. Parf, how's it going?
That was a perfect docking joke. Thank you so much. It's going great.
We're glad to have you. Next up, he's Crocodile's biggest fan because he's hooked on One Piece. We got Rifle. Rifle, how's it going?
I cannot disagree with that.
And joining us today, as always, main cast member. He had enough money to save Bellamere, but he left his wallet at home. We have Kat. Kat, how's it going?
Man, sometimes you just gotta make a lie so you don't lose money. That's what I do. Shit.
And maybe in our discussion, we'll debate if she actually had it coming or not. And our first mod of the night, he just scheduled his Sanji tattoo. We got Miles. Miles, how's it going?
It's going to be on my chest.
What is, Sanji or the tattoo?
The tattoo.
Oh, okay, cool. Just checking. And our
Sanji.
second moderator of the night, Pat.
Yeah, what's up? Knew that was coming. Had a feeling. Yeah, so we're talking about the One Piece movie. Thanks, Tyler, for the delicious steaks. This is why we're watching that.
Oh, those steaks were so
watching
good.
this movie. Yeah,
They
I
were
know.
really good. They were really fucking good.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed them. Worth the COVID, because I think they were, honestly. I would argue they might be. But yeah, and also worth watching One Piece. So that is what we did this past 2 weeks. We watched the first movie, which encompassed, what was it, 60-something episodes? 65 or whatever?
61.
61 episodes of One Piece. So, obviously I don't know, I guess we'll just do our first impressions of, like, what we thought going into it. It's only an hour and, like, 45-minute movie, too, so I guess you can talk about, like, Luffy's introduction, but spoilers for the first, I guess, 15 episodes of One Piece, probably, from this point, and then, obviously, we'll get to a full spoiler alert later. But yeah, so Miles, why don't you start us off with your first impressions?
Yeah, so I guess, like, I really didn't know what to expect. People seem to have a love-hate relationship with One Piece. It doesn't really feel like my cup of jam. But, I guess I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. I think overall, it was a fun time. We'll talk about how fitting all those episodes into a movie went later, because I think there were some issues there. But other people seem to think that there weren't, so we'll find out. But overall, I guess, like, you know what? I wouldn't recommend it. We'll talk about this, but my assumption is that just watching One Piece would be better. But that might be wrong, so we'll talk about it later.
All right. So we don't usually get told that we wouldn't recommend something. So this is exciting. I think this will be a really fun discussion. Kat, what about you? What have you got?
So I've watched all 61 episodes up to episode 700. They're both close to 800, something like that. I've already gone into it off air, but I am not a I'm an okay fan of One Piece. Like, I will shit on it when I can, but I also sometimes like it occasionally. But it is my opinion that the first 61 episodes are the weakest of the whole series. And if those first 61 episodes don't catch your ire, that's fair, and I'm not going to push you to watch the rest of it because it does get better marginally, but like those margins don't exactly like if the characters don't already get you, they're not going to get you at about 300 400 episodes in. The thing is, this show, like this movie, was really okay. Uh, but so I guess my recommendation for this show is kind of nuanced because if you have not watched One Piece, I would not recommend it. And I'm not saying that you have to watch One Piece before you watch this movie. I'm not saying that at all. Please don't. If you have watched One Piece, I'd recommend it. And we can go into that a little bit later.
That's fair. Alrighty. So we got like one half recommendation out of that. Jay, what do you think?
Honestly, I'm someone who, if you know me at all, like, and have discussed One Piece with me, you know that I've kind of bounced off of it quite a bit, honestly. It's something that I recognize the value of it. Like, I see why people enjoy it so much. I just don't jive with it very well. But that being said, I actually kind of really enjoyed watching this. I wish it was like I can kind of agree with like I'm gonna echo what Miles said here and think that I think watching One Piece overall would probably be better rather. Um, it has like the opposite issue that the One Piece anime almost has, where the pacing is so much faster that while it does get rid of a lot of like some might say unnecessary dialogue and such. Um, It really is just cramming so much into like 2 hours of runtime. It's like an hour and 48 minutes or something like that. Um, so I think that if you kind of watch a part of it and you're like, man, this seems interesting, should probably stop yourself like halfway through and just go watch One Piece instead. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say it's probably like a not really a recommend for me either.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Johnny, what about you?
Yeah, so first off, I want to say that I haven't watched any of One Piece like at all. So going into this, like I knew some information, like I knew that Luffy was a stretchy boy, and that was about it. So like going off what other people have said about like not really understanding what was going on because of the pacing. Personally, yeah, I agree it's an issue, but it's shonen. I think some of the plot points are kind of predictable as to what's going to happen, and you don't really need to go into the details of their like incredibly tragic backstory that gets them to fight for whatever cause they have, etc., and all that. And yeah, they're like I'm not saying it was awful either. There were some good fights. There were some jokes that made me laugh. I'll be honest. And yeah, so but in terms of how I would recommend this, it's just again, I don't know if I would say watching the show is better. Because I think if you can understand something that happens in 61 episodes in 1 hour and 40 minutes, I don't know if it's worth watching. So, but I will say this. I would recommend this as something to just put on in the background while you're doing something else. Because that's what I did. Not going to lie.
It was fun. I was able to, yeah, it was nice to know that I knocked out like 60 something episodes in theory, in that
Speed running
shorter period
anime.
of time. Okay. Park, what about you?
You know, as the One Piece fan here, I've seen the show. Um, and I would say it doesn't do a great job of going over the details because it's not, first off, it's not really covering the whole 61 episodes because it just cuts out two arcs completely. One of them is filler, in fairness. Sorry, two arcs. Two real arcs and one filler arc. But like, I would much rather watch the show because you get the man, the myth, the legend, Buggy the Clown. And you don't get that in the movie. And he's one of the best characters because he's so ridiculous. It's a great animated show. I agree with Jay and Miles. The pacing was way too fast, like way too fast. And also weird that they had the Mihawk versus Zora scene in there. That was just weird. But would I recommend it? I would recommend it to someone who's never seen One Piece if they want to like get a quick like touch of it. But like I'm sure if they liked it enough, they would probably watch the episodes. But yeah.
All right, fair. So that's a more positive review than what we've gotten so far. Rifle, what have you got?
Yeah, just recently, last week, I just caught up to like 800 plus episodes. And so I have a foot into One Piece. After watching this movie, really cuts out a lot, like everyone else has said. I feel like this movie just rushes through everything. It's good only to really watch the animated portions because it's really updated to more modern day. Aside from that, pacing just was off all over. I wouldn't really recommend it to many people except for someone who just wants to know the highlights of each character.
That's fair. Um, that yeah, I think most everyone said so far, but it does the pacing is so wild. It'll literally cut from like a very obvious cut from like one episode to the next one at times. Like there are times where the transition is very smooth, and then other times where it's just so jarring where you're like, oh, I know it just skipped like two episodes or jumped to from episode 30 to 33 or something. Like I don't know. I definitely felt that for sure. Pete, what about you?
I think I'm gonna be the devil's advocate on this one. So for my One Piece experience, this is exactly where I ended watching it by the episodes, and I dropped it because the pacing and the unnecessary dialogue in the show drove me absolutely insane that I could not watch it any further. This is just like I'll take less context for less unnecessary dialogue and one of the worst pacing I've ever seen in anime, and take this style of movie all day. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie in terms of just having fun with what One Piece is. I would recommend it to anybody who's looking to get into One Piece because, like everybody says, like One Piece gets good after like episode 300. So why not watch episode 1 through 61 in an hour and 45 minutes? Like, to me, that makes the perfect sense because I hate the One Piece anime. My recommendation, since Tyler is like the main One Piece simp in our Discord, read it. The pacing is so bad on both sides that I feel like you can't really get a hold of the story because there's just so much, like on the bell curve, it's on like both sides. It's insane. But yeah, I would recommend it for anybody who just wants to get to like episode 300 of the anime like ASAP. Like this is the best way to do it because there's the Sky Peel one like right after, I believe. And so you can knock out like 120 episodes of One Piece in 4 hours or something.
All right. Yeah, and then lastly, I don't have too much new to add. I think I generally agree with people that like from what I've heard, the pacing of One Piece at the show is really really slow, like painfully slow. But this movie was also way too fast. I think there needs to be like a happy medium where they could have done this in like it almost would have been better if each backstory was like a 40-minute OVA or something else like that. But of course, you can't get that. You know, that's asking a lot. So for what it was I did really enjoy watching this movie. It didn't have me that captivated. It didn't have me like locked in, but I would say that it was cool to see where all the hype and just there's so much behind One Piece, right? Like there's so much like history and hype behind it that I was just curious to see what it was like, and now I can see at least like where people are coming from now. I can understand where the hype is. It's not for me, and it's not my something I would, and also specifically this movie is not something I would really recommend to people unless they are, like Pete said, trying to like just skip everything. I think if you really want the One Piece experience, then you should probably watch the show. Maybe watch the dub so that you can like have to pay attention. But yeah, so yeah, again, overall, I would not recommend this unless you're again like me trying to just understand what the hype is, or see, just take like an outside, like a very non-committal look in at One Piece. But yeah, all right. I think that's everyone. I don't think I forgot anyone. So going forward, this will be spoilers for all 61 first episodes of One Piece, or for the movie itself. You have been warned. But yeah, does anyone have any specific talking point that they wanted to bring up? Kat, why don't you lead us today? What's your what is the discussion that you would like to have?
Okay, so the first discussion I really want to talk about is I want to get this started in the first place because like I have seen a little bit of dichotomy between uh dichotomy? I think that's the right word. Between a lot of us and Perfuli and Rifle. So like how they said, "Hey, this show seems like something that that would be for somebody that's." Perfuli said that he thinks that it cut out a lot of slack, and then Pete said that he would trade cutting out a lot of bad stuff for, you know, watching something that isn't too long. So I would like to bring up that kind of conversation. What do you guys think about it? Because personally, I think that it is very, very. I think it's too damn long, honestly. Because like the show trudges along for 61 episodes, and in my opinion, the first 61 episodes are the weakest episodes that you have to watch through so you can get to understand the characters. And then the rest of them are like a bunch of episodes with filler that adds on to the story. And even though that doesn't sound like filler, it sure as hell does feel like it until the last like maybe 40. So and even then it just the pacing is just terrible. Uh and this it cuts out the pacing. So I actually like it a little bit more than the actual show itself. Especially cutting out Buggy because Buggy's just a filler character. Like I don't think that he adds anything to the show. Uh but I see Jay and Parfully shaking their heads at me for our audio listeners because that is great audio. So what do you guys think about it?
My thought is that like both views could be true. Like I haven't seen the One Piece show, but everyone ever has told me that it's too long and there's a lot of filler and like it's bad, right? Like that's just like the general consensus between everyone ever, besides Parfuli, I guess. And well, I said it was bad as part of my bit, and so this movie, I think even Pete would agree, cuts out a bunch of context, but he just likes it more than extra unnecessary context. But like,
Correct.
there's like a world where the show and this movie have a baby, and like, you know, maybe you get 40 episodes for these plots instead of 60, and like that's good because this movie specifically cuts out context that I feel like is important, like the Sanji arc. Like the person who betrays him and him definitely had a relationship. We don't know what it is. So like, you know, he betrayed him and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this guy betrayed." I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And I like rewind. I was like, "Oh yeah, you fed him food once? Is that why everyone's so weird about it?" But there, and then I realized there's like probably like 3 or 4 episodes that we missed. And then same with Nami's arc. I think especially Nami's arc. They would have like 10-second clips from episodes. It would just be like they would have a clip of Nami and it would be like, "I'm going to betray them," and then it would like go to another clip and it would be like, "Luffy, why are you here? I said I betrayed you," and he's like, "I'm a shonen protagonist. I believe in friendship," and you know then it would cut to something else. And like apparently there's a scene in the show where he gets stuck underwater. Like the fact that he can't swim comes up ever. They don't explain how the devil fruits work. He just randomly stretches. So I thought that was like a joke at first, like because it shows him eating the gum gum fruit, but you have no idea what the gum gum fruit is. And then all of a sudden he's stretching everywhere, and Shanks, is that the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shanks is like, "Oh, Luffy, you ate the magic fruit that makes you not swim. Oh no!" And it's just out of nowhere. I just thought it was a joke, and then it wasn't a joke. So I definitely think that like, which one you like more probably just like depends on who you are, but it's totally possible for both to suck. Parf, I know you wanted to go.
Yeah, first off, I have never at any point said this show has good pacing. It took me a whole summer to catch up. And that being said, one thing we have to touch on is Buggy is absolutely not a filler character. He's one of the most influential and important characters later on. He's part of Goldie Rogers' crew, like the OG Pirate King. Like he is very important. But I do think so the movie does cut out a lot of context. You don't get the explanation of the devil fruit like Miles was talking about. They explain that in like the first episodes in which Luffy's revealed. Kobe, the pink-haired kid, you don't really understand why he's important, but he shows up in the movie. He's the first character that's ever introduced in the show. And so there's a lot of context that's just taken out, which is kind of needed. I had a bunch of time over the summer, so that's why I was able to do it. But like I said, it really depends on if you want to spend the time to watch all of it. There are going to be some really bad times. There's going to be some good times. It does cut out a whole filler arc. I liked that filler arc a lot, but it cuts it out, and it's not important to the plot at all. The cuts of the fights were so awful though. Nami's arc was done so terribly because, like, you're entirely right. Luffy just shows up. And it's like, why are you here? It completely cuts out two of my favorite characters of that arc, Johnny and Yasuke, and because they're comedic relief, and I love comedic relief characters. But they also do some fighting too, and it shows like the difference in power between them and the Fishmen. And there's just a lot more that's taken out from the movie, but I'm sure, like Pete said, if you don't like the pacing, you're gonna love this movie. You're just gonna like it way more because you get One Piece, but it's faster. But it does cut out some really important characters. It also cuts out Alvida, and she's pretty important later on because she's another devil fruit. So I should actually provide that context. It cuts out Buggy, Alvida, and one filler arc. Devil fruit users.
Parf,
So
let me ask you this question. Just because there's so many chapters and so many episodes where you say like these are important characters, but the cast of One Piece is like hundreds of characters. So
they come back. All three of these characters, well, two of these characters I'm talking about come back. They come back through. Buggy is literally in. So I see you guys post the arcs. Buggy's in Marineford arc. He's becomes one of the 7 warlords, and he comes in the Wano Country arc because they do a flashback arc, and he's in that too because he's part of the OG Pirate King crew, and this movie completely cuts him out. So he is really important. For context, he knew Shanks from childhood. Like they were childhood friends. You don't get that at all. You get more Shanks info. That's my point. So he is important.
No,
he arguably is important.
I guess I get it. I get what you're saying. I'll be like on the other side where when I was watching One Piece, I felt like I was watching like the same episode like 4 times in a row because of like how they were like interacting with each other and nothing was ever moving along. The fact that like we have to have these introduction episodes that are 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes long for introducing us to a character, to me is just such a drag where if you're wanting me to feel something about these characters, you're doing an awful job because it's just getting rammed down my throat type of style. Where in this, I thought Luffy's introduction in this movie was like perfect. Did they explain the gum gum fruit really? No, but like I thought like the relationship between like Shanks and the city and how Luffy wanted to be like this type of person. I felt like the 20 minutes that we got of Luffy was like pretty well done. I feel like, especially in a stylish show like Shonen is, I don't need an exposition dump. I don't need these info dumps. I can figure it out myself. And that was one thing I liked about it. Go ahead, Pat.
I was very curious, like, because I agree with you that after the first like Luffy arc or whatever, I was like, oh, that was like 25 minutes or so, and that was pretty good. Like, yeah, they left out the devil fruit explanation, whatever it's called, but like in general, like I was like, that was a good like arc. And I was like, oh, that was like 25 minutes.
Would you rather have that or 4 episodes?
So that's why I was going to ask,
yeah.
I guess, Par for whoever, like, how long was was the Luffy intro arc in the regular show? Because, again, it was like 20 to 25 minutes. It was like the perfect length for like a regular episode. Was it like 4 or 5 episodes long in the original? Do you remember? I know that's from 800 episodes ago.
So I'm rewatching it with a friend right now, so I know this already. So before that happens, there is a small arc where like you meet Kobe, you meet Nami's actually introduced before Luffy is. You meet Nami, you meet the Alvida pirates, like I was talking about, and they do this whole introduction, and then Luffy comes out of the barrel. It's like 4 episodes. Then the Luffy introduction thing, I think, is either 4 episodes, maybe 3. So you just get maybe even 2, honestly. And it's just Shanks and all them still. It's the same content, just obviously the movie does it better.
Right. Okay.
It's just the fight scenes that take so fucking long.
Yeah, the fight scenes in general in this, I loved how it was like basically cut down all the bullshit. Just both people use their special move or their final cool move, whatever that took the most animation budget, and that's it. And then the fight's over because, of course, the Shonen protagonist is going to win it most of the time, right? So I love that. Before we moved on from that point, one thing that was like offensively bad about the pacing in this movie for me, I think, was during the fact that I didn't understand. So you know how they did the toast thing where they all like threw their foot up or whatever, and we're talking about like, oh yeah, let's go onwards. So with like Nami is shown when they're picking up what's his name? Yeah, what's the awful character's name?
You gotta be more specific.
No, why is he awful?
The guy with the nose.
Usopp?
Are you being raped?
Usopp.
Puso. Yeah, so him. I'm being racist. That's fine. You can put it in the Discord lore or whatever. I hate Usopp or Puso.
Pinocchio people.
Puso. I'm calling him Puso. I hate Puso. And so, but Nami was there when they go to recruit him, right?
Yes.
But then he's also there when they go to recruit Nami. And
so
there's a bit where she's with them and she betrays them.
So what happens is that's the buggy arc. That's where they recruit Nami, the buggy
arc. They
arc.
just never address that.
But they never address that until the Nami arc, which is after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes no
arc
sense
in the movie. So that's why I was just like,
yeah, no,
because I don't know. I thought the continuity in general was pretty good. There were a lot of scenes, especially again in the Nami arc. There were a lot of times where you could tell they jumped one episode. Literally, it would be she was walking straight, and then she was walking to the right, and you're like, I think they just cut out like 2 hours worth of stuff. But like in general, it was pretty good about like staying continuous or whatever. But like that scene specifically, I was like, wait a minute, like why is Nami here? But then we have to go recruit her 30 minutes later into the film. Like I don't know, that just threw me off so badly. I don't know if there's anything else about pacing that someone wanted to talk about before we
Yeah. So I had a question for the knowledgeable people, and I want to give a quick shout out to our boy Haz, who's listening in and is a self-proclaimed giant One Piece fan. So if you want to type in chat, if you know the answer to this, I'd be happy to be a mouthpiece for you. So is there a point in the asynchronicity, like in the achronological of it, like the fact that like they show us these arcs not chronologically, like what is the point of that? Is there a point of that?
What do you mean? Like,
okay, so that you have to make a decision to show the arcs not chronologically, right?
Yeah, I don't know why. So it was mostly chronological, actually, kind of. I shouldn't say mostly. So
Zoro's and
Yeah.
yeah.
So in chronological order, it goes Luffy first. But so in the first arc, Nami's introduced, but she's just a robber. So she's insignificant. So it goes Luffy, then Luffy goes to get Zoro. Then Zoro and Luffy go to Buggy's town, and Nami's there. They recruit Nami there. Then they go for those three go and they do Usopp shit. Then from Usopp they go get Sanji, and then Nami leaves them. They solve Nami shit in Arlong Park. That's the chronological order.
So
Oh,
it was in chronological order.
No,
but wait,
the movie's not in.
Okay,
the
'cause
only thing that's not in chronological order is the Mihawk fight, right?
Yeah.
because that has
Yeah.
to do with the restaurant, but the restaurant is where they get okay.
They just wanted to make each episode focused on highlighting their stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Mihawk
for
is
each
such a big
person,
part
so
of-
because
Yeah, Mihawk is a huge part of Zoro's story, so it makes sense to
Yeah.
introduce him there. I think that it kind of shows you how spoiled we are with primetime shonen nowadays. Because looking at this, I pulled up a diagram of how many chapters are adapted in One Piece, and they're lucky to get like 2 chapters out of it per episode sometimes. Nowadays, shonen does like 4 chapters per episode or something like that. It's pretty great. So I think that it kind of shows how much things have learned from One Piece's pacing issues. Because I don't think it's a pretty well known thing, right? You know.
Yeah.
do they have like I know Naruto has like a watch
Yeah,
list. Is there
there's
a
a-
One Piece one?
Yeah, it's called One
Yeah.
Piece.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
like a fan cut of it sort of deal.
That's
I
such
suppose.
a clever name.
Yeah,
One Piece.
yeah, they did a good job with that.
I mean, I would say I would genuinely be interested in this. Like, I think this did a good job of like highlighting why someone would like One Piece. You know, like I think
Yeah.
overall it was a freaking disaster, but I think that some of the 20-minute segments, like Luffy's and Zoro's, and I even thought Usopp's or whatever his name is, Uso's.
Usopp. It's Usopp.
It's Usopp. Okay, it
What's
just
up?
sounds gross to say.
We're gonna get flamed for this.
It sounds like
No, I mean,
Guys, we can't be mean to Usopp. I'm telling you guys, we can't be mean to
I
Usopp.
know, like I mean, like I thought his arc was like apparently it freaking sucks in the anime, but like I enjoyed it when they like pared it down. So I do think it says something that you can make a coherent 20-minute story out of these arcs that last like 5 or 6 episodes. Like I think that Nami's is the main one that probably deserved to be however long it was. But I don't know.
Which is funny because I think in the anime it's like the longest of the 5 by like a long margin.
I think Barati's pretty close, but Usopp's is also really long.
Usopp's is really long.
Yeah, but you might be right. I mean, I don't have the numbers.
What did they add to Usopp's? Did it seem like
the fights take so much longer? And there are 3,
it's like an entire
there are
episode.
3 fights. There are 3 fights in his arc.
But the fights were dumb.
They didn't even show Kuro's like special attack or anything like that.
Which is cool. And honestly, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cat out of the bag attack, man.
Dude, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Please
Well,
don't
since
mention my
fights
name.
are the worst part of anime, I guess I shouldn't watch One Piece. Sad
I
times.
guess not. You don't have to watch
Just
another
watch a
950
compilation.
episodes.
Yeah, just watch One Piece.
It's like he spent like a whole episode just fighting a bunch of dudes on like a road. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that road
Yep.
that road
Yeah,
thing is like
kinda.
almost
Yeah,
an entire
more or less.
episode.
So he
It's more than just one
Oh.
episode, Pete.
No, it's
So
like
like,
I
like
think it's at least
screaming on the
like 10
ground for 20 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, that lasted so long in something that was supposed to cut it down. He got smacked around like 4 times
Well,
before.
And like I'm just imagining if it's even longer in the anime, like dear lord. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's fights going on at the same time.
It was funny you say
For
that. Discord member HQ was telling me that there is a scene later on in One Piece that is 5 episodes long. A fight is 5 episodes long, and in the manga, it's 1 panel. Like I just find like
What?
that is just absurd. Like you're talking about stretching something out in length.
That's
Like
incredible.
that is it.
Again, never said the pacing was good.
I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, like, this is the topic we are discussing right now.
Okay, let's talk about. Oh, Pete, you had something you wanted to bring.
I did, and this is for the Shonen Bros or just people who enjoy watching Shonen. And what about One Piece, whether if you're a fan or not, draws or you think draws you to the world of One Piece? Compared to, like, for me, like, I'm a Hunter x Hunter stan. Obviously, I have my Gon sweatshirt on, but like something about like Hunter x Hunter resonates with me more than what One Piece does. So maybe like Rifle, I know that you watch like a lot of shonen as well. Like, what's something about One Piece that made you want to watch like 800 episodes compared to other series?
I think for me, it's like the lore and the world building, which is a basic answer, but this can be a hit or miss for some people. Each arc, they introduce different characters, and some characters you think, oh, they're just a filler character, and like to 5 arcs later, that same character comes back again to make an appearance. So they just start connecting all these threads and building more of their world. I was like, dang, this person who I thought was a joke character becomes a warlord?
Thank you.
Johnny, I don't know if you have like a thought on this, since I don't know how much shonen you watch, but I guess like you're a big like My Hero guy. What does My Hero do that you like compared to like something that One Piece doesn't hit with?
All right, so I'm gonna just pretend like that wasn't like an insult at me. So, what One Piece does, I mean, what My Hero Academia does, considering that like the total amount of episodes that My Hero Academia has is like 1.5 times the length of the first arc of One Piece. Is I think that one My Hero Academia does the pacing a lot better. It gets you straight into the story essentially, and like the fights aren't dragged out over the course of 5 episodes. I would say that's one of the good things. But like I haven't watched that much shonen, so honestly, my opinion on this is pretty sketchy. So yeah.
Okay. I want to talk, Jay, for something like New Age Shonen, where we get something like Jujutsu Kaisen, where we get like a story in like 24 episodes, for instance. Um, how do you think like that varies in like today's age, like the style of shonen moving to that style compared to the long running stuff? Because we only really see it with like One Piece and kind of Black Clover, even though that's like on hiatus right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think obviously, it has to do with the meta aspect of it, of manga and getting axed nowadays in Shonen Jump. A lot of shonen gets cut after like 30 episodes or chapters or so. So it doesn't even really ever get the chance to have an anime. So the pacing in it has to be done kind of fast because they need to get the concept of it down before they get canceled, more or less. Um, I think whenever you compare it to like stuff that is actually like animated though, like Jujutsu Kaisen or even like Demon Slayer or something like that, I think that it doesn't necessarily rely so much on like callback. Like they don't rely so much on callbacks and stuff like that. Like it, the characters are more so used as like plot devices in the moment, and once they're done for the most part in modern shonen, I feel. Whereas One Piece, like, I mean, it's kind of a meme to say that Oda, like, is like playing chess or something like that 10 years in advance or something, but like there is a crew member that gets introduced like 10 years into the story that is talked about in like the first chapter or something like that when I was reading it. So he is pretty slick with it, I'm not gonna lie.
Uh,
So I don't know. I think that that's definitely an aspect of it that draws people into it, is that people, they feel smart when they're like, "Damn, I remember whenever he mentioned this like 400 chapters ago. My investment paid off."
Kat, you had something.
So I wanted to follow up on this too because for me, when I was first watching One Piece, I actually really didn't. I I really liked it because it was one of my first anime that I ever watched. Dear God, and I really really liked it. Uh, but after like when I realized that we were actually going to do this, and after we got COVID, uh, I went into I just decided I was gonna watch some more of One Piece and kind of recap to see why I actually liked it, because I had a little bit less of a shining review of it at first, and I jumped back in at at Alabasta, which is when personally I think it actually gets kind of good, like the near to the end of Alabasta. And I really just remembered that it's a really, really good show for having that moment of I've been watching this for God knows how long. I've been watching this for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, like nonstop. And then this character comes back after watching the same arc for that long, and he comes out being stronger. And in like when you look at it in a microscopic lens, like 2020 hindsight, like it's really easy to just say, oh well, that really wasn't much. Like I watched 196 episodes for them just to be like marginally stronger, but in the moment it's amazing. The thing that this show, like the long form show, does to you is like gives you that moment of like, oh my god, they've actually done it. Like it gives you that sense of accomplishment, since the pacing is so slow that it feels like you're living that show with them. So when they actually do get stronger, it feels like you just watched a child grow up, kind of thing. And in that sense, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the 2020 hindsight, it's really easy to shit on.
Yeah, I guess I view it like a marathon. Like, is finishing the marathon worth miles 0 through 26? And to me, that's where I fall off. It's not, but like, if you actually run the full marathon, you feel like absolutely accomplished. And I think that's like what One Piece does. It's the marathon runners of anime that they are rewarded for this journey and the work that they put in to get to the conclusion that they've been waiting for. It's just unfortunate that they had to like run in the rain and mud and stuff like that in order to see the sunshine at the end of the light. I don't know. That's just me.
It is definitely a marathon to go through. Go ahead,
Wait,
Johnny.
but this implies that there's an end, which One Piece doesn't have. So they're
not
still
yet.
running
yet.
the marathon. And
It has
they're
ends
not
to
reaching the
arcs.
end. Yeah, so
Well-
like that's the water break.
Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny, this
But
show,
we're still running.
We're still running.
Johnny, this show in and of itself, each arc is a marathon in and of itself.
I see. But so
From-
you're running 50 marathons at once.
Exactly.
From what Jay posted about the arc length, the most recent arcs really milk every chapter
Yes.
of the manga.
Okay, that's because your legs get tired after running for so long.
I guess so.
It's because they're
Your
really
face.
close to the manga right now. Like really close.
Okay.
Wait, let me just like set this analogy even further. So like there is an end. However, it is moving farther away from you constantly, and whenever you're about to reach it, you move slower. So
it's
you're
like
never gonna
falling
reach
into the
end.
event horizon of a black hole.
Sure, Johnny.
An observer never sees you get to your goal.
Yeah, getting into One Piece is
You
like
just
going into a black
time
hole.
dilates as you watch One
Wow,
Piece.
thank
making
you,
it
Miles.
impossible to
Thank you for
finish.
making a joke that only you could get on the podcast.
What?
Good job.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
I'm kidding.
I got it. I'm not a
I got it.
Bro, that was a
Hey,
stellar
gosh.
joke right there.
Let's
That
go.
mean. That was so mean. I'm sorry, guys. I have one point that I would like to talk about
Yeah.
because this was a little bit contentious. As he got a good screenshot of my reaction to this moment happening in the show.
Oh, is it the mom moment?
It's
Yeah.
beer. So I wanted to talk about this specifically. What's her name?
Baba Big-
Baba
Belmere.
Black
Her name
Sheep.
is Belmere.
Bellamere. Yes, it was. She died for no reason.
For
in my
no
humble
reason.
opinion.
I was going to independently bring this up.
Yeah.
Do people think that's sad? Is that like people who are in on the community? Does anyone think like? Are they like, oh wow, what a selfish sacrifice she did, killing herself?
Do you want to get into this?
She
Yes.
I don't think we
sold her
want to open this
children for
one.
life.
We do want to open this one.
She totally
who
sold her
knows?
kids. She got herself executed in front of her kids that she loves so much. Like, that's so
her kids
scuffed.
could have been parentless for 10 minutes or the rest of their lives, and she picked the second one.
Well, okay, so since we're talking about this, first off, they have no boat. I already pointed that out. They have no boat to get off the island with. Second, the fishermen are vastly stronger than normal human beings, and I'm not defending her choice. I'm just saying the logic to her choice, which I guess is defending her
There
choice.
is none. There is no logic.
It's
no
just
logic.
like
They could
they
hide. They
wouldn't
don't
have
have
been
to go
able
on
to
a
escape.
boat.
They wouldn't have been able to escape because
Okay,
fishermen are
in
also
this series,
fishermen are also faster in the water.
do
And
they
they explained this in the
imply-
show. They explained this in the show. There was no
Okay.
real choice there.
There's
so
a
in
real
the
choice.
movie,
In the
One,
movie,
it wasn't-
in the movie, it's not explained
Okay.
at all.
it wasn't clear that those people would be staying on the island.
Yeah, they
right.
stayed there for years. Yes.
So like I did get that later, but that is not clear, right? So like given that, it does make a little bit of sense that you would do that because perhaps the children would be punished if they were found to not belong to anyone or something like that, right? There's a lot of issues I have with Nami's arc. What about the entire village just being like, yeah, we pretended to fucking hate you to support you?
To try to
And it-
scare. No, well, it was to try to get her to leave them behind, right? It was. That's what they were saying. They were like, "Oh, we are pretending to hate you because we want you to hate us back, and then decide to give up on us and move on with your life." That's what
Yeah.
I interpreted it as. Which is like, okay,
But
you
then
know
you're
what else you could
you're just
say?
watching her do all this stuff and like
Yeah.
go in deeper and deeper and deeper. Like surely someone would be like, Nami, okay. You know what? This hasn't worked. It's been 10 years. Our plan hasn't worked. Let's try a different approach. Like, I don't know. I guess I really didn't like the Nami arc.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not here to defend Belmere. I never liked her.
My issue with the Belmere thing is like, can't you just like hide the kids for I don't know a week and then find $100,000?
The issue
Where,
is that,
but like,
yeah,
here's the
how-
thing: where would they
yeah.
get the money, Pete?
Okay,
So
they're
surely
just
people
never
in
going
the
to make
village
money
you could have
ever again.
crowdsourced the money.
Well, like we already know she's poor.
Okay, but
Like-
the town.
So basically, you're
the
upset she's
town
poor.
could get
No,
money.
couldn't the town just crowdsource the
They're
money?
all
Yes.
they're going to save their lives first, right?
They
Yes, I
did. They
understand.
all did.
They already did. They were the last house.
Like if the town would never make money ever again,
That was the whole point of the system.
But
they couldn't make money.
they can because they continue. You see this 10 years later as
I'm
Nami
saying is they're not
has a
making profit.
bunch of
What
money
I'm saying is they're not
from
making
growing her
profit.
tangerines or whatever. Like
Wait,
No,
no,
she
that's
has
not
the
where
money
Nami
from
got her
robbing
money from at
pirates,
all.
but they skip
oh, the
all of
pirates.
that.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
money is
Just
available
rob
in
people.
money is available in the world. Like
They can't get off the island. There's no boat.
Yeah,
Pete
see,
says
the
they should
issue,
pull
the
themselves
up
issue
by their
isn't that the
bootstraps.
decision is dumb. The issue is that the decision is dumb in the movie.
I'm
Like,
not disagreeing.
no,
I
yeah,
still
that's what I'm
think the
saying. I
decision's
just like
dumb
I want to.
personally, but yeah,
I
I
want
don't
to
know.
like
Could
it's
have
like
made a
because
boat.
I think the decision is a lot
Johnny.
less dumb. At least has merit to it if you know that those people are going to be keeping your entire island as slaves for the foreseeable future, which was not said to us in the movie, but is apparently expressed in the show.
Very so
Um,
much so. They could not escape.
Right, which is why they talk about. I think they do talk about, like she's trying to buy the island their freedom from that group. So, you know, had the pirates ever figured out that she was like, there is potentially something you could do, like to try to crowdsource it. Like, I don't think giving it up right then and there is the smartest decision. But I really do think the movie makes her just look so stupid.
It fully does.
And you know, it's just
I know. Beg for your life in front of your kids, maybe, so that they don't have to see you get executed in front of them. Like, I don't know. To
Yeah,
me, but
yes,
I don't
the-
understand it at all. Because it makes her out to be like a martyr. But
It
No,
built character.
I agree.
in front of your kids.
It built character. Thank you, Jay.
It built character.
Hey, Nami would not
Yeah,
be crying
Nami
if her
became
mom
a
didn't die.
criminal with like a multi-million-dollar bounty on her head. So it really
She doesn't have
worked.
a multi-million-dollar bounty. Let's get that straight.
What? Doesn't she?
Well, not till way later
Not
in the
yet,
show.
not yet.
Sure.
Well,
I don't know. Are
I don't know.
pirates good in this universe? This is another thing I
So-
didn't understand.
Yes and no.
Some
Okay.
are, some aren't. You know.
Yeah.
So
Only the main
is
characters.
okay? Is
No, not true,
Luffy
Johnny.
actually a pirate?
Yes,
don't
he
do
is
pirate-
actually.
they
a pirate.
really-
Okay, so
they
he
do
like
When does he
steals from
rob?
people.
When does he rob?
No,
people?
they
Johnny.
rob. They do it at the end of one arc. Literally at the end of one arc, they
Yes.
rob these native people blind in a
So that's
very
it.
colonizing
It's
way.
really funny.
Wait,
that's
really?
it.
They do
They,
that?
they also rob
they-
other pirates.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert for One Piece. Again, like past where we're at right now. Spoiler alert! In
Thank you,
Skypiea,
Johnny.
at the end, they rob the people blind and leave at the end.
So they also rob other pirates. That's what the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, but
and there
the
are
only
good
time they
pirates.
rob, the only time they pillage is in
Yeah,
Skypiea,
that, yeah.
though.
And I mean, there's also the whole problem with the like. There's a whole corrupt government. There's a whole thing. You know, you have to watch the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
very
I
shady.
really,
though.
I
5
just wanted
months
to
of my
know
life.
because like some pirates are like, you know what I mean, like you know, the mountain bandits, which feel just like land pirates to me.
They really are.
Oh,
Were
bandits.
No,
were
you're spinning
viewed
right
as
now.
like, you know, like the worst people in the world, and they were like kind of dicks, but like, you know, then you have Shanks, who I don't know, has like a bajillion-dollar bounty on his head, has probably murdered people, and like everyone just like, yeah, this guy's dope, and like I get it, you know what I mean? Like murdering
Yeah,
people is
swagger.
freaking cool, but
He
like
killed the right people.
you still shouldn't do it, like usually. It's just sort of like, yeah, like I get you have to like romanticize it a bit, but I wasn't sure if they ever delved into the
Look.
fact that like piracy is bad.
It's like how, you know, in real life, trafficking drugs is bad. But if you're the owner of a club or something, and somebody who does that is buying out your whole private room, like Shanks was doing to that bar lady, then they're cool.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
As long as
that
they're not
makes
making
sense, right?
trouble. As long as they're
it's
not making
like,
trouble.
yeah, so it's like how being a drug lord is bad and exploits like poor populations, but also Scarface is really cool. And I'm gonna miss the point of the movie.
Shanks is literally Scarface.
He
Okay,
is.
that's that. Okay, that makes sense to me. I get that. You know what I mean? Because like
You
when
get
I
all of
watch
One Piece.
when I watch Breaking Bad, you know the meme with the guy who's like looking at it, and then there's like the arc above his head. You know, so there's something about like the nature of humanity and like yourself and how you like are obsessed with your worldview or whatever. But I'm like, ooh, man sitting on pile of money, and like that's me. So, that's good. I'm glad we can do that.
Pirates did nothing wrong. Miles 2021.
Let's get it trending.
No, I have a question real quick, Jay. Does
Yeah.
Luffy ever kill anyone?
Yes.
He does.
Yeah.
There's literally a scene in the most recent arc where he blows up an entire ship with his fist.
Okay,
Like,
so that explains.
There's no way he
he.
didn't kill anybody in that arc. But like
Okay, so that
there is
explains his
also
one-
a
Okay,
hundred
but
reasons.
is it like the way that Aang never killed anybody?
No,
Is-
no,
but
he's not against killing.
He totally drowned all those people
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
end of the first
yeah.
book. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then,
no,
then
Luffy,
later he's
Luffy
like,
is not
I'm
against killing.
I'm-
Luffy's not against killing. if
okay.
that's what
So
you're asking.
looking at the One Piece
put it-
subreddit, it says his body
Miles-
count is 60K. Yes.
Miles,
sounds
to put it in Magic the Gathering
60K.
terms, Luffy is a red-black protagonist.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so he's like a dumber Nicol Bolas.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's a dragon.
But he wants to
Oh,
be
that
instead
was
of
really
wanting to
funny,
be the
wasn't it, Johnny?
Godfair, he wants to be the Pirate King.
Okay. That is
I want to be.
Wait,
Yeah,
so Luffy has 60,000,
Yes,
that's
Wow.
what they say, and I think this must just be from
or is that like
blowing up ships or something.
responsible deaths or something like
it's
that?
it's got to be a mix of that because like there are literally parts where he just goes on rampage and doesn't care about anything else. Like he's destroyed towns.
So
Yeah.
many tactical nukes, bro. That's insane.
That's not his
Well, I mean-
dad, is it? It's Luffy.
I just googled
I think
Luffy
his
body
dad's-
count.
His dad's is probably way higher.
His
Um,
body count, like never mind.
Oh,
Mind you,
yeah,
this
yeah. Straw
guy
Hat
is-
Luffy's body count. And so it says like someone said like around 60 to 70,000, and then there's just like some debate. But he apparently he had 50,000 alone with the hockey on Fisherman Island. I don't know what that means.
He
Okay.
activated special power. That's all you need to know.
So does he just like nuke an island?
So he has Conqueror's hockey. It's a whole thing. Basically, yeah, he killed a bunch of people.
Okay.
Bad people. They were bad people.
I wanted to add something in this because apparently what we have just talked about is apparently not true, because Oda himself has stated that he has never killed anybody.
Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, that's the joke. That's
a
literally the joke in the community. Oda said that. Like, I don't remember when he said that, but like he said that, and like
Volume 4.
yeah, probably, and like, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Luffy's definitely killed since then. Cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting a DM that says that the Fishman Island feat is not a kill; it is like a mass KO, more like.
Okay,
So
so
he
it's
just
like
knocks them out.
He incapacitated a bunch of people.
it's like a
in
flashbang
it's-
nuke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like he wouldn't lose points if he was playing like Hitman or something like that for that. You know, like it doesn't
Okay,
count as.
here's one. Has Luffy ever been confirmed to kill someone? Someone named Robin kills people, apparently.
Yes, she has. She used to be a very bad person.
I guess it's up for debate. I guess it falls into two camps. People who are like, surely people have had to die in this Fallout. And then other people who are like, I don't know, I've never seen a body, you know?
It's very much that. It's very much that.
Yeah.
Like, so in the first filler arc of the show, so we know devil fruit users can't swim. Luffy throws a guy into the water. That guy's dead. He's in the middle of the ocean. There's no current. That's like, for some reason, the special part of that part of the ocean. There's no current. That guy's dead. He doesn't come back. He's dead. Is there a body? No. That guy's still definitely dead.
Comes back 500 episodes later.
See, yeah, 500 episodes.
No, it was a
No,
filler
no.
arc, so it doesn't count.
He's coming back. He's coming back in like episode 2000. I'm calling it.
Yeah, we're all gonna soy face when he comes back. It's gonna be great.
He's gonna be like, you murdered my
Someone's
family.
saying that only Zoro has been confirmed to have killed people.
Oh, there are actually people in chat. Interesting.
Oh, that guy just looks like a murderer. So like,
Okay.
I mean, his whole thing was he killed pirates.
He
Yeah,
canonically
so
he
he really
doesn't.
used to
Okay,
kill
so
pirates.
Verson saying that. Okay, so it's like Aang at the end of book 1. Then
He
he didn't kill anyone.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't kill anybody, but like in the most recent episodes, he has definitely killed some people.
Yeah, is it like how Batman does it too, where like someone's definitely bled out when you've like whacked him on the
Yes.
back of the head or something?
Like I said, he blew up an entire ship and set it ablaze. There's no way someone didn't die.
Well, there's no current in the ocean, so maybe they just floated and chilled.
There's no
they weren't
current
in
in
that
the
part.
ocean.
They weren't in
In
that
One
part yet.
Piece, yeah.
Wait, is that a thing?
Yes,
Okay,
Mars
so there's
just
something
said it.
there's something called the red line, right? And so in that part of the ocean, I think it's the red line. There's,
It's Calm Bell,
Yeah.
I thought.
yeah, there's multiple names, but so there's no current for it. And so when they were there, he just throws a devil fruit user off the ship, and that guy's got to be dead.
oh,
He's
hang
got to be
on,
dead.
wait, part. So no current means that there's no wind.
Johnny,
But
it's
they
a-
use
it's-
sailboats.
It's a fantasy world, bro.
Johnny,
no,
you know what
they
to do?
You
You know that?
say good world.
Johnny, let me
building.
speak.
You think they don't
Oars.
explain the
Wait,
the
let me
whole-
explain it. Let me explain how they get out. You know that great giant sea monster? He ties a rope to it.
Okay, well, did they ever show it?
Boom. Yeah.
Wind can happen without currents.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, do currents come from wind? It's like,
they don't.
I was
They
like,
can
I'm
help
pre-
because they push
yeah.
temperatured water.
I'd assume that like there would be wind.
It would definitely make it less windy.
I think it's also said there's no wind, but they get
Oh,
a
okay.
this.
Okay, so they use sailboats when there's no wind.
Johnny, it's
They use
one
a
part of
giant
the ocean.
dragon.
It's one part of the ocean. They use a sea dragon. Come on now.
Yo, One Piece is kind of dope. I'm loving this conversation. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, I can't
the
believe
calm belt.
that.
Thank
like,
you. It's the calm belt.
Okay, Pete, where did this end up in
Combat
your top
surrounds
100?
the
Where
red
did
line.
One
Pete,
Piece?
how much
East
money
Blue?
did Tyler Venmo you this
Grand
time?
line.
He actually probably owes me money. I did not put this in my top 100 because I think that One Piece is just, in terms of shonen, I just like there's
It's too good.
I think there's just so many better options out there in terms of just completing a story in like a relative amount of time and interest, like getting characters that I care about. I like Zoro. I like I love to hate Sanji. But like that's like it in terms of One Piece. I feel like that's like my biggest gripe is I just can't connect with the characters.
Okay,
So
I have a Zoro take. Let me know how hot this is, because I honestly I know nothing about any of this.
all right, bet.
The sword in the mouth, really dumb.
Really dumb, but
Okay.
it's anime.
Horrendously dumb.
It's
Pretty
anime,
cool,
bro.
though.
Oh yeah.
It is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like, come on.
Well,
Is it?
makes
Is it?
zero
It just
sense.
seems really
I
dumb.
don't know. I think
It
it's
makes
pretty cool.
zero sense.
There's the
It's-
scene where he's
it's
fighting
great.
Mihawk and he has the sword in his mouth and at no point does he ever use the sword in the fight. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is really counterproductive, bro. Like
He's
Well,
using
then
his
he-
third dominance.
So during part of it, he's grunting through it, and then later he just starts talking completely normal.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that has been brought up multiple times, and the
Okay.
author just decides like, you know what, he can talk. He can
No,
talk.
Miles, he
Okay.
glues the bottom of his sword to his bottom teeth, so that way he
No.
can like open his mouth.
He sheathes the sword. He
Oh,
sheathes the sword.
maybe he has like a mouth guard that has like an
No, he has a
attachment
mouth
or
guard.
something.
Yeah, he has mouth
Yeah.
guards that like hook onto the sword.
Yeah, I can hook onto the sword.
Removable
but then-
teeth
but then
to
also
like
that
make
means
a
if someone
slot for him.
But then
Okay.
if someone hits his sword in his mouth, then all his teeth just fall out as well.
Oh god.
So, like,
Well, that'll be a good scene. Cat, what's up?
yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up since you mentioned the whole since you mentioned Zoro's sword in his mouth. So two characters, one in Naruto because it's another part of the big three, and another also in One Piece. So later in the Water 7 arc, you have a dude that is a giraffe. Long story.
What?
You have a dude that's a giraffe. Long story. Leave it at that, Johnny. And there is and that dude uses four sword style somehow. And honestly, I don't understand how he uses four sword style, but there is also another dude who uses the other person that I wanted to mention was the dude called Killer Bee from Naruto. If anybody else has seen Naruto.
Yes.
nope.
Okay. I wasn't
Yeah.
asking you.
I
Pete, 'cause
love
know.
Killer Bee. Killer Bee's
like-
great. Yo.
Yes. So
Sorry.
here's the thing. I wanted to bring this up because I think it's an interesting comparison. Who do you think does the extra swords? I.e., any more swords other than two, like larger than two. Who out of those three does it better and why?
Zoro, because he's an actual character who does his whole fighting style based off of it, probably.
General Grievous in Star Wars.
I was actually gonna say
that's what I was
Hatchin.
gonna say.
was gonna say
also
Hatchin
the
the
twin
Octopus.
sister from Star Wars Visions. If you've seen it.
I have.
I go ahead, Bert. Pete,
I do like
Pat.
the way Killer Bee does it though. It's pretty
It's
sick
cool,
with the like kicking the blade.
I
and
don't know
stuff
who
like
any
that.
of these characters are, so I don't have an answer.
You have
I-
Google.
Killer Bee is pretty dope. I gotta say. I don't know. I'm biased though because I actually like Naruto and I'm like
Killer
very
Bee rap.
like okay-ish on Killer Bee
Hey,
does rap.
One Piece
yo.
has rap too.
One Piece
Yeah,
is
yeah.
all right. Yeah. So speaking of the One Piece rap, let's wrap this up.
Nice.
Nice.
Sick plug, Pat. That was good. Thanks, Pat. Let's continue. So, do we want to do a favorite arc in like our closing thoughts too? Maybe that I think that'd be a good way to do it because there's no best girl because there's really only I guess there's three of them, but like I don't know, one of them is really dumb and self-sacrificing to a T. The other one's Nami, and then the other one is girl who looks like
The
Nami. But I can't.
bartender from Luffy's arc. Hello.
Oh, that's true. The
Whoa.
bartender. Does she come back? By the way, I just
Hey,
got. Does
they
she
show
come back?
Nico
Well,
Robin in
she
the
yes,
credits.
she looks like Nico Robin,
They
so
do show
kind
Nico
of.
in the credits.
Hey, they show
see that
Nico
too.
Robin. Don't think I'm not going to use
That's
that.
true. That's true. And also, actually, best girl is what's the guy's name? Pusso's girl is probably best girl.
I don't know
'cause
who that
she's
character is.
Kaya,
rich.
I
The
think her
blonde
name
Yeah,
is
her name's
Kaya.
Kaya. She has 3
Kaya, she's
favorites on
great.
Mel.
Wow,
30
that's
favorites on
low.
Mal.
That's so low for a
Nice.
One Piece character.
The
I would've
all
thought for
30 people that
sure.
remember her name.
She's in like 5 of 1,000 episodes. So.
Well, no, she definitely comes. She has to be in like later episodes.
She does.
Right?
She does.
I was
She
gonna
does.
say,
At
like,
least in
there's
the
no
manga.
way. Oh, in the manga it would make sense, yeah, because like, there's no way he doesn't like go back to visit her, or find out she died or something, and then have to go back or so. I don't know. So like, because she seemed to be like important to him. Maybe the movie couldn't put that out there that well, but I don't know. Either way, yeah. So let's do our closing thoughts and our final scores. So Miles, kick us off. What is your score of the One Piece movie?
Yeah, I toiled over this. Like, on one hand, this is really fun. On two hands, it doesn't really make any sense. On a third hand, which someone would lend me, maybe Zoro could use it.
Just use your mouth, bro.
I really don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 because like I had a good time, and that's what matters. That's why we watch things. Like, it lacks almost all semblance of a narrative. You saw how confused all of us got by like what was simply happening in the plot and like why characters made decisions they made. And like, Parfuli came into the clutch explaining that like, no, you see, because they cut out 45 episodes, we lost some context. But I think I'll give it a 7.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's a pretty good score for it too. Like, again, like you said, it is. I agree that it was really enjoyable. Or like I wasn't like hating watching it. Like I was
Yeah.
enjoying. I had a good time with it. Even as someone who doesn't stand One Piece, so that's a good way to put it. Kat, what have you got?
Okay, so this is gonna be. I'm gonna give my score first, and then I'm gonna give my reason why. And you'll understand why in a second. But my score is an 8,
Okay.
and this is why. I have already stated, I think twice, that the first arc of One Piece is the first season of One Piece is my least favorite. This movie condenses it down into a portion where I can watch it in one relative sitting. ADHD, sometimes you got to get up and get some food and, stare off into space for a little bit. But but relatively one sitting, I'm able to watch the whole of the first arc without having to stop through and sleep or eat or work or do anything that would warrant anything in 61 episodes worth of content. And I personally like that. And seeing how the first season, excuse me, is compared to the movie, like the first arc, the first season is probably like a 5 altogether, but the movie condensing all of it down, and again, knowing a few things about what the show is, like some of the things that the movie didn't, it really improves on it, and I that's why I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. An 8. That's higher than I thought it would be. That's good, but that's a fair point. I think, yeah. Um, it could be seen as an improvement over the first few episodes, depending on your perspective. I think that's a good way to put it. Jay, what have you got? And I see you're petting a dog. Is that a dog? A good boy off the screen. Oh man, great
Yes.
podcast content.
Yes, very much so. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I think that this is probably the second best way to consume this One Piece content. I do agree that I think that it lets you get like one of the weaker parts of One Piece out of the way very quickly, which is very nice. But I think that the fact that you have to justify watching this with how utilitarian it is rather than how enjoyable it is really says a lot about it. And if it comes down to that, then I think you should probably just try and read it instead if you think you're going to enjoy it, or even watch it. Probably read it. I would say read it because that pacing is so bad in the regular anime. So I'm going to just go ahead and give it like a 6.
6. Alrighty. Oh, so 6. All right, we're still averaging out to a 7. It looks like so far. Johnny, what have you got?
All right, so I I feel like I'm just in the wrong audience for this. You know, like when I've watched like all the modern shonen, such as like Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and all that, it's just hard to come back and watch this and like I understand it's a product of its time and like the restrictions it had and all that stuff. And like does condensing it all into one movie make it better? Yeah, but it's still condensing 61 episodes of anime into a movie. But you know, like I'm not gonna sit here and just like as much as I'd love to like just say it was nothing but like awful stuff, it's not. There's good things about it. I understand why it's like the most popular anime of all time and all that. So like I'm gonna give it a 7. I feel like that's what it deserves.
Alrighty. Parf, what about you?
Um, no, I agree with Jay. This is definitely not the best way to consume it. The manga is vastly superior. It's easy to breeze through. Um, although I did make the mistake of watching the anime first. Um, I think the movie does a decent job at everything, and yeah, I would give it probably a 7. Yeah.
A 7. Alrighty. Wow, look at us continuing the trend. Uh, Pete, are you going to continue the trend?
Oh, maybe it depends of what rifle gives it because I'm in the same boat of mostly what everyone was saying. I thought it was just what it was. I had fun. I enjoyed since I've seen it. I enjoyed parts of what I missed because I regret watching it when I was watching it. And overall, I thought this was just a fine experience for One Piece. I'm going to give it a 6.
Ooh, okay. So you did not continue the trend. We don't have to wait for Rifle to find out. But good to know. Already a 6. Rifle, what have you got?
Yeah, for me, watching it, I feel like my mood was very hampered, especially coming off from One Piece for a break. Having to see a recap of everything was
Probably not your best bet, right?
yeah, I was like, I already know what happens, and so I was just the story itself, I was just like, I know what happens. I think the best thing was probably the updated animation and art, specifically for Zoro. I was impressed by that, but just the pacing overall was not good in some areas. If I had to give score, I'd say a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Alrighty. Um, yeah, so I generally agree with what everyone else has said as well. I think that I had a good time with it. Um, I didn't go in expecting a ton either, but I also it was cool to finally experience One Piece in a certain way. But all the criticism that people have come up with about pacing and their frustrations with it I think are very justified, and I feel the same way with them. Uh, I ended up giving it a 7 out of 10 because I also as I feel similar to the other guys where it's like I don't really feel like I can give this worse. You know, like I guess I could have given it a 6 if I was being in a bad mood, but I had enough fun with it that I
That
think
was
it
my
was
thought.
worth.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's a 6, but it's as fun as an 8, so it's a 7.
Yeah, like it's fun enough. And speaking specifically about the production of this movie and maybe this arc in One Piece too, because I'm sure I don't know for it to be this popular. Although, how did it get? If the first arc sucks the most, how did it get popular and then get an anime? Like
The manga was super popular,
manga.
right?
Yeah.
I guess that's true. The manga has always been like knock it out of the park popular. So
And
maybe that's
anime
why.
wasn't good.
Yeah,
when it
this
came
is
out.
99, right? So this is competing with Now and Then Here and There. You know what
And
I mean?
also Rurouni Kenshin, shout out. But it's fine. It did all right. Kenshin obviously did so much better than One Piece did in terms of serialization numbers. Yeah, we don't have to fact check that. But yeah, so 7 out of 10 for me. That averages our score out to a 6.75 for One Piece. For One Piece. Or specifically the One Piece movie. So yeah, One Piece. We did it, guys. We conquered One Piece. We found the treasure.
We found the One
Um,
Piece.
We found the One Piece.
The One Piece was the friendship we made along the way.
There you go. Made lots of friends on this journey. And we didn't
Yeah.
have to sacrifice our parents for it either, for no reason.
That you
Well,
know.
they didn't. They sacrificed themselves.
That's true. You're right. For no reason though.
This isn't Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So Miles, why don't you reveal to everybody what we voted on and what we are watching for December the 13th? 13th. I can do math.
Sure. In third place, we had Tower of God. And Pat's already pinned it.
I did, but yeah, I figured you'd keep talking. I didn't know
In
that.
second place, we had This Ugly Yet Beautiful World. And in first place, with a last-minute comeback, we have Golden Kamui.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
I didn't even nominate
yeah.
it, but it's
That's
Yeah,
the J
it's-
factor,
it's-
baby.
it's-
That's the
it's
J factor.
That's the J factor, baby.
Hina. I'm gonna be. Oh, we don't get to do Stanka this episode. Can we do all 3 seasons? You guys can handle all 3 seasons.
No.
We're not.
No.
We're not busy for the next 2 weeks. Come on, you can do it, right? No, this is gonna be really fun to talk about. But Jay, I didn't mean to hijack your show. Do you have anything to say?
I'm just pretty excited. I feel like this is something very different from the sort of stuff that we usually do, honestly.
Mhm.
I think people are going to have their expectations are going to be different from what they get, like by a lot.
Yes,
for sure.
I agree too. Because it's a historical heist drama, but then it's
That
also
sounds like a lot of fun.
so funny.
It's
and
great.
It's got
great.
so much comedy.
Legitimately hilarious at points.
Like at one point this past season, someone's
No,
eyelid.
don't.
No, this isn't.
No,
this-
no.
Eh,
I don't know.
Let it go. Let it go. Let
Apparently,
it go.
that's
Hands
a
off.
huge spoiler. Huge spoiler, guys. Sorry. That a comedic moment. But yeah, the show will go from dead serious to just slapstick humor out of nowhere, and it's great. It feels natural. It's fun. The immortal Sugimoto is gonna be best boy, I think, for most people. Actually, I don't know. There's a lot of good characters in the show. I'm really excited to talk about it if you couldn't tell. But yeah, so now we gotta do nominations for next week, or not next week, for voting for the next week, going into the 27th of December. Miles, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah. So, I am going to nominate. Do I just want to do Millennium Actress again, or do I want to do? I'm going to nominate Liz and the Bluebird.
Ooh. Do we have to see Sound Euphonium before?
I have no idea. Is it a sequel?
It's like a side story to Sound Euphonium.
You know what? I'll look that up, and if you need to, I'll switch my nomination.
All right, well,
Because
Kat, what
they're,
are you
they're
nominating?
characters in Sound Euphonium.
Okay.
So
Are they? I
I
didn't
feel
know
like
that.
you need to
Come
watch
back to
Sound
me.
Euphonium.
I will get back to you. On
Okay.
that.
Come back to me.
Come back to Kat. All right. We didn't need to be prepared for this. Rifle. We're going by Discord thing now. What have you got?
Oh, great. Yeah, so my nomination, I haven't even watched yet. So if it does win, it'll be quite the experience. I'm nominating a show called Punchline.
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 I feel like I've heard about this.
This sounds like a '90s arcade stand-up. Like,
What is it, Rifle?
oh, this is the Mappa show. Okay.
Yeah, I found. So essentially, bus hijacking happens with the help of a mass superhero. The main character finds his soul separated from his body and in the care of a cat spirit, and so he has to wander around a house attempting to regain his body and observe the other residents. And so this whole anime just follows him unraveling mysteries surrounding the house, its residents, and a villainous organization attempting to end the world.
And what is this called?
Punchline.
Punchline. Okay.
Punch space line.
So did I ever get to the punchline?
Oh my god, Johnny, that was so good.
Boo!
Stop.
Yeah, really, that's so
Boo!
great. Moving on to someone better. Well, no, because it was from Rifle, so sorry, Rifle, that was not aimed at you. Jay, what have you got? What are you replacing Golden Kamui with?
I am going to go with a movie this time. I am going to go with I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Nope.
We are not allowed to nominate.
You are
that.
not allowed to nominate that one.
You're only like the fourth person to try, including some of the hosts, so don't worry, it's okay. But we're not, we do not cover that. We can explain to you after, but that is like the one
There is a
anime-
personal reason for someone in our group that we're just not touching
Okay.
that subject.
Word. Okay.
So we'll come back to you, Jay.
We should tell new people because this has happened like 3 times.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, that should probably be pinned if it's been happened 4 times or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, shit. No
You
one
said
reads the pinned
movie, I was
messages,
like, don't
apparently,
say it.
so-
I want to eat your pancreas.
The J Factor.
The J Factor, baby!
J Factor, baby.
All right, Johnny.
Dredging up your trauma, that's
Johnny,
the J
save
Factor.
us, please.
All right, well,
Please save
well,
us.
the thing is, my show is probably pretty controversial as well.
Oh,
but you
yeah.
know what? I got approval from Miles, so I'm gonna nominate Jobless Reincarnation.
Jobless
Wow.
reincarnation. Ooh, that's
That's
spicy.
a
I like that.
Wow, that's a spicy one.
What I
Yeah,
said was,
I had to
it's a
ask for
highly rated
permission
show.
first.
Go ahead. Also, I love a stage.
Yes,
So-
that's
I did ask first. I wasn't like just gonna say this out of nowhere.
good for
Yeah,
you.
no,
Good for you
it's-
for asking. Honestly, that's good.
Yeah,
Let's
Jay,
keep
you have a
it
thing
moving.
or two you could learn from Johnny.
Jay, your dog is staring at you in the background, like ashamed to be in the same room as you right now. But it's okay. You'll learn, and we move on, and we adapt, improvise, overcome. Parf, what have you got for your nomination?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Quintessential quintuplets.
Yes.
Nice.
Let's fucking go.
Oh no!
Hey, listen, I'm a man of the people.
Have you seen it before, Parf?
I have.
Oh my god, I love.
I just want to watch it again.
I have Quintus in my 3x3.
I don't really
No, I know. We've talked about this, Miles.
Yay, Quince, more Quince. Pete, what about you? What are you nominating?
I don't think Link Click is ever going to win, which I'm sad about. So,
Nope.
since it has legacy points, let's do Astra Lost in Space.
Astro.
That's also really good.
That's a
I
good
will vote for that.
nomination.
Link Click has like a 9 on Mal. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
Link
care.
Quick got exactly zero vote. Actually, someone might have. Is that the Chinese one?
yeah.
Someone wrote the Chinese one for their third vote.
How many votes did Vandrad get?
4.
Damn.
All right, so let's go back. Miles,
Okay,
right?
so
You didn't get one yet. So,
I checked out the things, and it sounds like it's a standalone thing. However, people are like, "Oh, it would be better if you've watched Sound Euphonium." And like, I'm someone who makes people read like 200 hours of visual novels so that they can understand like 4 references in the next 200 hours of visual novels I want them to read. So I'm going to nominate Sound Euphonium.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why are you gonna nominate Human Echo as an entire visual novel for a second?
Yumineko anime is 1 garbage and 2 24 episodes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, I thought you would just not.
Oh,
nominate
read it.
them.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
nominate reading the first 8 visual novels of Yumineko.
Oh,
Don't ask me how long it'll
Um,
take. It's only 8 episodes.
All right, next up, Kat. Right, you made me pitch back to you, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to bring up a show that I have not watched because there are a lot of shows that you guys have nominated that I haven't watched, but it's been a while since I've done this. I want to nominate. Shit, I just forgot the show. God damn it.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I
We are
want to
so
eat
bad
your
at this.
Oh my
pancreas.
god.
This is
Yeah,
com-
we
this
are
is com-
so
this
I
is
bad.
literally
compelling
just looked it up. Oh my
Jay, do you
god.
have your show real quick?
Look at your history, Jay. What have you
compelling
got?
content here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and first of all,
Bruh, you
I'm-
hit your dog.
No, he didn't.
I'm
it
joking.
landed
I
on the
just wanted to
chair
make-
behind me.
That's not
fool.
funny, Johnny.
Yeah, people listen to this in an audio medium. I don't want people to think I'm doing that sort of thing. But
Jay's dog was
anyway,
not hit.
speaking of dogs, I am going to nominate Bungo Stray Dogs.
Ooh.
That's
A good.
what I was
That's
going
not bad.
Oh,
no,
good
I-
shit.
I
Get
did
shit
that
on
on
cat.
purpose. I did that on purpose to give him a good transition.
No,
There
you
you go.
didn't.
Good job.
Yes, I
Johnny.
did.
All right, moving on. Kat,
That's
what have you
fine.
got then?
That's fine, because I found another one that I haven't watched, but is apparently really good. I'm going to nominate Erased.
Oh, dope.
Erased. That has
Ooh.
legacy points, I'm pretty sure.
I'll throw
Or-
some.
think I
I'll throw
nominated
some
at
votes
least
at
once.
Erased.
That was
I
almost my
won't, but-
nomination last time.
All right.
We have mystery, supernatural, psychological, seinen.
Yeah, that's a little bit like sounds like Miles's genres right there.
Red Dead Kids.
Okay. Just because we have a lot of people, I'm going to really quickly go over these again.
I
I
still haven't
have-
gone yet either, too. By the
Oh,
way,
yep, correct. Go. Sorry.
no, it's okay. Yeah. So I saw a random YouTube clip for like a 5-minute segment of this movie that I'd never heard of before, and I watched it and I liked it. It's called Princess and the Pilot. It's a movie from 2011 made by Madhouse, and it's not labeled historical, but it's like adventure and romance. So it's most likely, a princess being brought somewhere by a pilot, and so there's obviously going to be some sort of like military or like historical implications or something that it can be tied to. So I don't know. Seems really interesting. Decent score on Mal as well. So yeah, we're gonna go with The Princess and the Pilot.
So I have Sound Euphonium, Punchline, Jobless Reincarnation, the Quintessential Quintuplets, Astra, Bungo no Stray Dogs, Boku Daki Gon, Erased, and then The Princess and the Pilot.
Cool beans.
And that is everyone's, correct?
That is
Yes.
everybody.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Word.
All right, well then that concludes our watch club this week. Pete, go ahead.
Yay! Good job, everybody. That was actually super fun. I'm actually surprised with how much fun I had talking about One Piece. So, if you've made it this far in the episode and you want to support the podcast, the best way to support us is like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you are watching and or listening to us on. We are now having visual content on Spotify. So if you like looking at our faces and don't like YouTube, we're on Spotify and you can see our beautiful faces and the J Factor himself. Next week's episode is actually going to be on Friday, so we're going to be doing it a little special as we will be reviewing Sword Art Online Progressive, the movie. It is in theaters for one night, so we are going out to the movies and having ourselves a ball. I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. If you want to join our Discord or follow us on our social media, links to that in our link tree below in the comments. You can find us there. If you want to talk anime, manga, movies, sports, I don't know, body pillows with Miles, it's all available there in our Discord. So join us. Otherwise, we'll see you on Friday for SAO. Otherwise, for Watch Club, we'll see you in 2 weeks for Golden Kamui. See you then. Thanks, everybody.